Peace and blessing to the chosen.
Hold on, my child. I love you, but you done gone too far. Answer me how you made it to walk for free today. And you don't have a running car. Oh, you're always complaining, ain't ya? But this time, you didn't cross the line. Sitting around throwing dirt upon my character. Using the same breath that's mine. Father, right. I crossed the line. Always got something to say. If only I could focus on the right thing. It's you that I need. Even in my hardest times, you provide for me. Even the words that I'm saying, it's coming to me as I say it, and I ain't playing. You see, think not on what you need to say. You bless me with the word.
Peace and blessings to y'all.
Thank you for all you do for me. Healing me in the midst of all the hurt.
Shalom.
Father, wherever you go, I wanna come to. Oh, Abba, wherever you go, higher and desire, I wanna come to. Yeah. Take me wherever you go. Lift me up, yeah. When my spirit's lost. Take me wherever you go. Lift me up when I'm low. I owe it all to you. Yeah. I owe it all to you. 'Cause that's what you deserve. I owe it all to you.
Shalom.
'Cause that's what you deserve. You deserve for me. And I will climb the tallest mountain for you. Yeah. Oh. And
Music time to let some more people get in.
will build the most beautiful fountain view.
Smash the like button when you
That
come
I
through.
can't resist. But I pray you mold me to what you want me to be. And I'm willingly gonna be a living sacrifice for thee. wanna come to, yeah.
All right, shalom, shalom. Peace and blessings to the chosen. All praise to the Most High for another day, another chance and opportunity to gather with the like-minded, even over line. Another chance to glorify the Most High, to get into the Word, um, opportunities to repent, to praise, to forgive. You know, to be in the land of the living. All praises to the Most High. To experience His creation on this side of the dirt. The Father lights, the Ancient of Days, the Holy One of Israel, the Lord of Spirits, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose name He changed to Israel, the same God of Enoch, Ezekiel, Methuselah, on down, who sent His Son, Yeshua, the Messiah, or Christ, is commonly known throughout the world. Um, and the same one who formed the Holy Spirit, who chose the 12 tribes to be His chosen people. That's who we glorify. That's who we come together for. That's who we come to get our spirits fed from. It's not me. Anything that's said that you might like, that might edify you, it's not me. It's the Most High. All right. So before we go ahead with the lesson, that song that was played is people always ask. This song is by Tevin White, my aunt Tevin White. You can find it on SoundCloud. I Want to Come To. All right. But tonight's message is about the proud spirit and the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. Picking up from a series of what we were doing, me and my nephew, a continuation of what's read in the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3, which we'll open up with that. So get your Bibles, get your apocryphas. If you got the book of Jasher, you're gonna need that too. We're gonna get some out of Jasher, and as well visuals. I'm not sure visual of some things pertaining to Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, and it's something how the proud spirit is connected with those cities. Many people familiar with the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the Father destroying those cities based upon the act of homosexuality or sodomite activity, far biblically speaking. But it wasn't just Sodom and Gomorrah, it was also the neighboring cities. So it's actually 5 cities that got destroyed. And they were doing more than just homosexuality acts. So I want to get some of those details for brothers and sisters to be edified on tonight, because when I first came into the fold, I didn't know that. The world teach us a perspective about these different biblical accounts without giving us full detail. You know what I'm saying? So it's different things that took places in those cities that caused the Father to destroy, where it says that the wickedness of Sodom and Gomorrah, they did exceeding wickedness. See, their wickedness reached unto the heavens. All right. So 2 Timothy chapter 3, though. 2 Timothy chapter 3. I'm gonna start with verse 1. Shalom, shalom, Shebrew Regina, Bamar Branch, Yeshay, Sister Alfreda, Humber Bro 1, Valad, 5464, Adaria Shirala, everybody else who tuning in, who will tune in, the sons and daughters of light, the children of the Most High, and I always know that it'll be some type of, child of the enemy watching as well, to try to stir up some things. It's all good. Appreciate it, all of it. It come with the territory. 2 Timothy 3. 2 Timothy 3, beginning with verse 1, and it reads, it says, "This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud." And I'm going to stop right there. All right, so if you go back through to look at previous videos, there were live streams, we already talked about in detail these spirits that'll be running rampant in the latter times, which we are living in the latter times. Lovers of their own selves, covetous people, boasters. So we'll talk about the spirit of being proud, and then we'll link that in with Sodom and Gomorrah. All praises to the Most High. So within the study, let's just get a definition of it. The definition of proud. So I'm gonna pull up my Oxford dictionary here. What does it mean to be proud? All right, used as an adjective, it says feeling deep pleasure or satisfaction as a result of one's own achievements, qualities, or possessions, or those of someone with whom one is closely associated. All right, another definition says of an event, achievement, etc., causing someone to feel this way. The second definition, having or showing a high or excessively high opinion of oneself or one's importance. Mm, all right. Arrogant is another word for that. He's also have a third definition saying slightly projecting from a surface. All right, so it's talking about in another means. But what we honing in on, family, is it's a sense of, as the definition gave, a high, showing a high or excessively high opinion of oneself or one's importance. It's a big issue. I mean, I see this spirit operating within a nation as well as throughout the world, left and right. People having a proud spirit, you know what I mean? But the book tells us why is earth and ashes proud. Why is earth and ashes proud? We are nothing without the Most High. All right, but some have adopted this mindset in the spirit to be proud, to boast about things that they've done or others do, you know what I mean, and taking away the glory from the Father. And, I deal with people on a basis to ask some questions, and, it says you can prick the heart to see what's in it, you know what I mean, through speech, through conversation. And a lot of times people go about to glorify themselves instead of the Most High. In my case, this is one of the most fearful thing for me, ever becoming proud or being a prideful person. If you know me, you know the story, but I'll share it with you all. As we talk about or look into the account for the elder, you know what I mean, our ancestors, Moses. In this case where he done led the children of Israel, he done done many mighty works, bringing up the brothers and the sisters through the Red Sea, seeing the fire tornado, seeing the plagues that was released upon Egypt, not to mention that Pharaoh had a proud spirit on him. All right, but he get through, we go through the wilderness for the time period, and the people wearing Moses down. They wearing him. And he get to the point where he says, they saying they thirsty. And Moses, he goes forth, him and Aaron. And when he strike the rock, he says, must we draw you water out this rock? And the Father allowed the miracle to be done with water shot out and everything. But right after they did it, the Father like, man, come here, let me holler at y'all. Right now. He said, because you didn't sanctify me, you're going to see the promised land, but you won't be able to enter. So within that account is the fact that Moses took the stress, made him say, it ain't the Father that's doing this. It's us that's doing it. So therefore, you taking the glory from the Most High. That's a dangerous thing. And people operating in their spirit to where they want the glory. They want to be seen. They want to be heard. They want to be felt. They want to be known. He said he ain't going to share his glory with no one. So anything, those who tuning in, and I appreciate all the support. Those who tuning in live and, the music and anything else that's done, all praises to the Most High, man. It's not me, and I base myself on the move from when he tell me to. All right. But that's the fearful thing, but the proud spirit. So it lets us know In a lot of times, this is one of the spirits that's going to be running rapid. People going to be proud. When we look into the arena of music, you got rappers out here calling themselves gods. I'm a rap god. The women calling themselves goddesses. And this spirit of proudness or this high excessive opinion of themselves has come through social media. The like button, the heart button, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. You know what I mean? And the people just, got them feeling some kind of way that so they get into the mindset to say, "Lo, I'm in love with this attention. I'm in love with this praise, which the praise is only due to the Father." But the people end up becoming obese with that spiritually. You get full of this. You're so used to people loving and liking your pictures. You do it every day. You know what I mean? Look at me. I'm special. I'm fine. But within that, a lot of these people, they not even happy. If you didn't have the likes and the shares and the comments, would you still be happy? If you didn't have the audience, would you still be the same person? So a lot of the proudness is false. But at the root of it is wicked. All right, but no, I'm going to read that again. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud. All right, being proud, lifted up, having an opinion of yourself. We should be boasting and glorifying about and proud about the Most High. You know what I mean? That's what our account should show. So let's look at what the Father thinks about the proud spirit. Go to Proverbs, the book of Proverbs, chapter 6. I'll pray to the Most High for all those tuning in, who will tune in. We know according to Malachi, chapter 3, the Father takes in account the time that the saints come together and speak about his name, glorifying him. Matter of fact, I'll get it real quick. But hold it, Proverbs. You keeping up with me, you got your sword with you, your Bible. Hold it, Proverbs 6. But Malachi 3, verse 16 says, Then they that feared the Most High spake often one to another, and the Most High hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Most High and that thought upon his name. So the Most High got the angels recording, like, Wednesday night, the saints got together, and they discussed things out of the book. We could be doing anything, family. Proverbs 6, verse 16, though. It says, These 6 things doth the Most High hate. So now we able to see what's pleasing and what's grotesque to the Father. He says, These 6 things doth the Most High hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. The first one out the gate, verse 17, a proud look. The Most High hate that. He hate a proud look. He hated. That's why he says in the book, the Messiah told us, look, don't come into a building seeking a higher seat unless the usher or the one who's directing the people tell you to, hey, come down to a lower seat and you be shamed. Say, come in and seek for the lower seat. That way that man will tell you, hey, come up higher, and then you'll be honored. But people come in looking for honor. That's not something that's, the Father have to bestow it upon you. And if he don't bestow it upon you, then hey, you can't have that. Am I still coming through with the mic and the visual? Look like I might have had an issue on my side. Somebody give me a con. Let me know if everything's sounding well. The visual coming through well also. Somebody give me a con. Those who just jumping in, all praise to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Those just coming, we in Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16. I'm going to read it again. These 6 things doth the Most High hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. And it's something how even these following things that the Most High hate, they can spawn from their proud look. Because with the proud look and you know, you the self gratification, people lifting themselves up, you being so proud and full of yourself. When something comes in contention with that person, a lot of times that to keep themselves at that estate where they've explained to people, look at my accomplishments, look at what I've done, look at me. To maintain that look in the people's eyes, they'll lie. They'll kill about that. They'll shed innocent blood for that, for attention, man. Verse 18 says, "And heart that devise of wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, of false witness that speak of lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren." All right, so the Most High said he hate all those things, but all seven of those things are abomination. And we know according to Revelation, it says the abominable, they won't get into the kingdom. All right, let's go to Sirach though. So you got your Apocrypha. Those who may not know, the Apocrypha. 14 books removed from the commonly used canon. Bible in society will usually has 66 books. The Roman Catholic Church felt that they had the authority to say, hey, those books don't glorify the Most High. They don't line up with his will. Take those 14 books out. But who are these people? That's the wickedness of them. Sirach chapter 10 or Ecclesiasticus. Sirach chapter 10 or Ecclesiasticus. And we're going to start with verse 12. All praises to the Most High. All right, Sirach chapter 10, verse 12. Which really that whole chapter, family, is really, is going in about it. But I'm trying to hit the main points. But this is something key and why the proud spirit is compared. It says pride is as witchcraft. That's what the book tells us. This is why that spirit is so ugly, so demonic, grotesque, and wicked. Sirach 10 and 12 says, the beginning of pride is when one departeth from the Most High. The beginning of pride is when one departeth from the Most High, and his heart is turned away from his maker. Why? Because you no longer feel that the Father can do anything for you. You feel like everything that you've accomplished is because of what you do. You proud of yourself. You looking in you, at you. How it's so the foolishness in the world today where people talking about look within yourself and you are God, you the God. You don't need to be looking out into the firmament in the heavens and so on and so forth, depend on you. Foolishness. Psalm 14 and 1 said, the fool have said in his heart, there is no God. Verse 13 says, for pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination. And therefore the Most High brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. Even with the account what we're talking about Pharaoh. See, so full of pride and proud, so full of pride and prideful, a proud person, when the Father was punishing them, sending the different plagues on Egypt, he couldn't even understand that he was being chastened to let the people go. He felt like he can contend with the Creator. And that's how a lot of people do who have that spirit on them. You so proud when the Father does punish you or send judgment on your house, you won't even recognize it as him correcting you. You will find a way to blame it on somebody else. But the whole time the Father like trying to get you to open and broaden your mouth, say like, look, man, this is what you do. I'm sending this plague on you or your household because of something you doing. And what are you doing? You operate in a prideful spirit. So again, verse 13 said, for pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination. Even like what we see in Proverbs 6 said, that is an abomination. And therefore the Most High brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. The Most High have cast down the thrones of proud princes and set up the meek in their stead. The Most High have plucked up the roots of the proud nations and planted the lowly in their place. The Most High overthrew countries of the heathen and destroyed them to the foundations of the earth, even as Sodom and Gomorrah in the neighboring cities. Verse 17, he took some of them away and destroyed them and have made their memorial to cease from the earth. Verse 18, check this out. It says, pride was not made for men, nor furious anger for them that are born of a woman. All right, so it's letting us know here, man, we weren't even supposed to ever operate in the prideful spirit. That come from Satan. He was lifted up and felt that he was senior in creation, or he was created. The angels were created before mankind. So he said, why would I bow down to Adam? Why would I bow down to this human when I'm made at a higher state than him, even as the book tells us? It says Hamashiach, the Messiah, said he was made a little lower than the angels. Then you know these angels have they got supernatural abilities, and everybody don't believe this. This is another subject. This, you know, when the Father give me the green light, definitely gonna talk about that. A lot of people who claiming to be in the truth don't believe in supernatural things. They don't believe in the spirit realm. So today we have Sadducees and Pharisees. Pharisees who they understand, they know the book. They understand to keep the Torah, the laws and commandments, judgments and statutes of the Most High, but they don't believe in the Messiah. But then you got the Sadducees. They don't believe in anything spiritual. They so carnal minded. They'll look at you crazy because of the things that the Father have shown to you. He hadn't shown all these supernatural things to every prophet in the book. The things that Elijah saw, Moses didn't see. The things that they too saw, they didn't see what Gideon saw. So the Father shows these different things to people when he wants to, at his time, who he wants to. All right, but in the book is letting us know pride was not meant for men. We wasn't supposed to ever experience that. Because what does that do? It causes you to look down on your neighbor. Now you don't feel like you need nobody. We all need somebody. Look at the fact of us even being in existence. You needed, that man and that woman needed one another to make you, to make me. So we all need somebody. You know what I mean? You're not going through like whatever trials and errors or tribulations, failures, or, you know what I mean? No matter what, you need somebody. Listen, the phone that you use, guess what? Somebody over there at AT&T or T-Mobile, they got to keep that button going for your service to come through your phone so that you can use it. You need somebody. Somebody got to be in the gas station. You know, when you go in there and pay your money, to cause that when you push the button, the gas is going to come out. You need somebody. Everybody needs somebody. But pride was never meant for us to experience, brothers and sisters. Now let's go to Daniel. Let's go to the book of Daniel. One of my favorite prophets. Is one of my favorite accounts. The book of Daniel. We're going to chapter 4. The book of Daniel, chapter 4, saints. All praises to the Most High. Okay. Valad 54:64, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. Indeed. Adara Yasharala, excuse me. They think it's fake because they haven't seen it with their eyes. We haven't seen a lot of stuff our ancestors seen, but faith is key. Indeed, saint. Indeed. They don't believe it. You know what I mean? But it also tells us in the book, blessed are your eyes and ears. You know what I'm saying? Because you have seen and you have heard. You know what I mean? So these people, they don't want to believe. A lot of these people, they fearful. They like, man, if I believe in that, then I would have to accept this to be true. And I don't want to accept that. because of whatever they're dealing with. All right, but the Most High be glorified. So Daniel 4, we're gonna start with 29, and I'll give you a brief, backstory. Everything that come out, anytime it's a lesson coming out, science, go back. You know what I mean? Not just me. You know what I mean? Don't just listen to me just because I'm on the camera. What you like, whatever, the Father doing through me, the channel, whatever. Go back, man, and read. Read the full chapter. Any verse that come out, write these things down and then go back, read the full chapter, get understanding for yourself. Because at the end of the day, at the end of all days, what I mean, we gonna be judged accordingly, individually. You know what I'm saying? So work out your salvation to make sure, the messages that's being brought out, whoever you listen to. Go check behind them. Check behind your teacher. Check behind your moray, the elder, your brother, your sister, whoever. You know what I'm saying? We can learn all kind of ways, but you got to feed yourself at the end and beginning of the day. All right, so but within this account, Nebuchadnezzar, he done had a dream, and in the dream, he saw a tree grow up, a huge tree, branches extended out, all types of birds, fowls of the earth coming lodge in the tree, making nests. They good. But then he see the same tree get hewn down, and nothing was left but a stump. All right, so bringing it back up to the point where we finna start in verse 29, he called for Daniel because he knew Daniel had the spirit of the Most High in him to interpret these visions. Daniel 4, verse 29 says, at the end of 12 months, he walked in the palace of the kingdom of Babylon, talking about Nebuchadnezzar. The king spake and said, is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power and for the honor of my majesty? You see how he talking? You see how he talking, family? Said, I'm going to read that part again. The king spake and said, is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power and for the honor of my majesty? My. He proud. I see y'all over here talking. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Sister for sisters, growing pains. Says hewn down was what I was saying all the way from Chicago to Atlanta in April. I'm so ready to leave Atlanta. This place is sickening. I never seen people so proud and secretive. Indeed, and we know Atlanta has become a hub for the sodomite spirit. And even just for those who may not know, the LGBTQ community has extended its title to LGBTQIA plus, sometimes two, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so this lesbian, gay, bisexual, transsexual, Q was queer, questioning, intersexual, asexual, plus. I don't know what the plus is, but we see the foolery. Have mercy, Father. All right, Daniel 4 and 30 says, while the words was in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to thee it is spoken, the kingdom is departed from thee. 32, and they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. They shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and 7 times shall pass over thee, until thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will. Understand it. So here the voice of coming from heaven. Now, this supernatural. People reading the Bible and don't they believe in that these things are only parables and idioms, as I heard before. No, these events occurred, man. So in this case, hear the voice say, just as soon as he come out his mouth with that prideful talk, being proud of himself, said, it's been spoken, the kingdom is departed from you. You're going to be out there in the grass eating with oxen until 7 times pass over you. You're going to lose your mind. I'm finna cause you to go into a mental breakdown. You're going to be out here acting like beasts. This is what the word is to him. It said that you're going to know after that, man, it's the Most High who bestows power upon people to rule and be overseers or be to high positions. It's him who set us up or debases us. All right, verse 33 says, the same hour was the thing fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar, and he was driven from men and did eat grass as oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till his hairs were grown like eagle's feathers, and his nails like birds' claws. And at the end of the days, I Nebuchadnezzar lifted up mine eyes unto heaven, and mine understanding returned unto me, and I blessed the Most High, and I praised and honored him that liveth forever, whose dominion is an everlasting dominion, and his kingdom is from generation to generation. So we see here in this account, uh, is that the man is out there eating grass. My grass is so bitter. You know what I mean? Grass is extremely bitter. It'll burn your tongue. So he out eating grass, said his hair then grew like eagle's feathers, and the savage of his nails like bird's claws. So look at how long he been out there. Like bird's claws. Fingernails then got shot. He looked like a beast, like a real caveman. But this happened to a king. Understand the estate that he had been transitioned from at the top of the totem, ruling. And we even know through the vision that he had of the statue with the golden head. Said he told him, like Nebuchadnezzar, you are the golden head. No, it ain't gonna be another kingdom on the face of the earth like Babylon that was ran by Nebuchadnezzar. And from his time forward, everything, all these kingdoms have gotten weaker. Have gotten weaker, but more wicked. All right, but then the Chinaman showed him, like, man, I'm finna lay you down, man. I'm gonna set you down. Verse 34. And at the end of the days, I Nebuchadnezzar lifted up mine eyes unto heaven, and mine understanding returned unto me. And I blessed the Most High, and I praised and honored him that liveth forever, whose dominion is an everlasting dominion, and his kingdom is from generation to generation. And all the inhabitants of the earth are reputed as nothing, and he doeth according to his will in the army of heaven, and among the inhabitants of the earth. And none can stay his hand or say unto him, what doest thou? You can't question the Father about how he working things. Verse 36. At the same time, my reason returned unto me. So now he understands, how did I get into this state? He be thinking himself. His reason returned to him. What is the reason I'm out here eating grass like an ox? Her just through, you know, so I'm out here through the dew on me, sweating out, all type of stuff. Said his reason returned to him, and for the glory of my kingdom, mine honor and brightness returned unto me. And my counselors and my lords saw unto me, and I was established in my kingdom, and excellent majesty was added unto me. Here we go. Here's the main gist of this is what we're trying to get to, the pithum, or the pith rather, of the whole account. Verse 37. Now I Nebuchadnezzar praise and extol and honor the King of heaven, all whose works are truth, and his ways judgment. And those that walk in pride, he is able to abase. This is the lesson that he had to go through. We don't want to be those people. I fear that. So if any of us are operating with a spirit of being proud, you better be careful. Before the Most High have you out here looking like you done lost your mind. And you might not get the same grace that was granted to Nebuchadnezzar, that your reason returns unto you. You know what I mean? We have to be careful of the praises of men. Some people want that. I don't want that. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? And there's no, no blight on those who support me. I appreciate that. All praise to the Most High. But I'm just letting y'all know, like, I don't do this for that. When he put it on my spirit, it's go time. And it's for him to be glorified. Because at the end of the day, he is the one. He's the one who created everything and can give us access to the New Jerusalem or deny us. That's what we're supposed to look to. But we see here, Nebuchadnezzar let us know. He said, those that walk in pride, he is able to obey. The Father gonna power bomb you, man. He gonna choke slam you off your high horse. So we got to pray against that spirit of pride, man. All right, so let me get something else. I said I had some visuals. Smash the like button. Danny Stone, Shalom, King. Well, Dunny Stones are like it. Uh, when you come in, smash the like button. It ain't that I'm concerned with that. It's just, or you can hit the dislike button. It's so that it can alert other people who the word might be for. That's all it's for, man. We want to get the word out. It's enough likes going into wickedness and all these other things. All right, but I'm gonna share my screen. Getting into Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah. Share my screen, Saints. Oh, this is the one. New website. Window or screen. All right, so I'm gonna post the link to this particular visual. I'm gonna post it in the description. Let's see. Hold on. I want to play this video. I'm operating it through a different search engine than normal. So let me figure this out real quick. Sure. I want to share, but I want to play this video. Let me stop that. So give me a second, Saints. But while we do that, I'm gonna go ahead and copy this here so that y'all will have it. Put over in the comments. So that y'all will have that footage of where I'm trying to take this here too. Share screen. That's what I want to do. Select window or screen. This is the one. Allow that. I'm not able to play it though. Let's see. I don't know what this move from stream. Okay. So this is what I'll do. Within that video there that I put in the comment with Ron Wyatt. And this goes into something else, family, of why the media is a lot of power within the media and how they program us and funnel the way we spend money. You know what I mean? This is why I'm saying this, because a lot of us have been conditioned to only be concerned with living in one space, or you represent this block of this city. You don't want to travel and go outside the world. And they use celebrities, our own people, they use those brown faces to keep us in that mindset a lot of times. But within that video, this guy, Ron Wyatt, able to travel over the waters into the Holy Lands, or at least through the over there in the area of Jordan, where Sodom and Gomorrah, Zeboam, and the neighboring cities were. It's him leaving he's from Knoxville, Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. He was able to go over there. And through his travel, he was able to discover and see that these landmass, or these ruins that was left behind, it had ashes, and it had it showed that brimstone, which the word for brimstone, when you look it up, is sulfur. And we know the book tells us that the Father rained fire and brimstone on Sodom and Gomorrah and those cities. So he was able to go there and find out and have proof that the account was real. That's what I wanted to show. So I guess I have to do it another time. But within it, when you watch that video, the first minute you can look at that, see what everything becomes ashes. It's not solid dirt over there. You got the 30-minute marker where he'll talk about and make mention of and show that it was a river that ran through those cities, which that ties right into the account that we're about to get out of the book of Jasher. And it was another point that he made mention of showing how you could see that it was man-made objects there. You could tell that it was a city once before. But nonetheless, until I figured it out with this new search engine or Firefox, let's go to Joshua 10 and 13 before we get into the book of Joshua. For those who may not be familiar with it, this is your first time tuning in, or just to show, improve why, I use the book of Joshua. The book of Joshua, chapter 10, verse 13. Sister for sister said, I smelt sulfur coming down to Atlanta as well. This all happened in April during that full moon. Come. All right, Joshua 10 and 13 says, and the sun stood still and the moon stayed until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven and hasted not to go down about a whole day. Yeah. So we're going to get Jasher, and we're going to go to Jasher chapter 18. Now, it was something else within the study found that was, it was profound. My favorite subject in school was English, so I love words. So I like the definitions of them, so on and so forth. So when I look up, what does Sodom mean? What does the word Sodom? And I just flip right to it, all praises. Check it out, saints. Let me see if I can put that in the camera. Sodom. You see that underlined right there? Sodom, burning. Burning. Sodom means burning. Now, ain't there something that Sodom was burned? Now, check it out what Gomorrah means. Which all this ties into what's written in Jasher. Ties into the spirit of how those people operated. And this right here that I have is a Hebrew Greek keyword study Bible. KJV. Hebrew Greek keyword study Bible. So Sodom meaning burning. What does Gomorrah mean? Here we go. Let's see if I can let's get that in the camera. Can I see? Can you see that? Right there in the camera. Accumulation. Gomorrah. Accumulation. And these people accumulated a lot of wealth. It was wealthy city. Wealthy cities. Side question by Yeshay says, side question for the Saints. Who else the Most High made the sun go? I guess you mean off course for? Select your page, or excuse me, Paisley. So it's a question for the Saints, if y'all can answer that. Who else did the Father cause the Son to go off course for? All right. But what y'all think on that Jasher 18? Jasher 18, and we're going to start with verse 11. It says, in those days, all the people of Sodom and Gomorrah and of the whole 5 cities were exceedingly wicked and sinful against the Most High. And they provoked the Most High with their abominations. And they strengthened in aging abominably and scornfully before the Most High. And their wickedness and crimes were in those days great before the Holy One. So their wickedness exceeded, it was exceeding sinful. Verse 12, and they had in their land a very extensive valley, about half a day's walk. And in it there were fountains of water and a great deal of herbage surrounding the water. And all the people of Sodom and Gomorrah went there 4 times in the year with their wives and children and all belonging to them. And they rejoiced there with timbrels and dances. So they got the river going through the city. This in that video. And see, they went, the families went there 4 times a year. So they having a celebration, they having a parade almost. You know what I mean? Which we know they got the pride parade happening. Verse 14 says, and in a time of rejoicing, they would all rise and lay hold of their neighbors' wives. And some, the virgin daughters of their neighbors, and they enjoyed them. And each man saw his wife and daughter in the hands of his neighbor and did not say a word. So look at the wickedness. Look at the evil there. Men would take their families, their wives, and even their children 4 times a year to this place where all these cities coming together. And said a man would look over after they done made music, had music to go forth. Said the man would look over and see his wife or his virgin daughter in the hands of another man and wouldn't say a word. So these people out here, they having it's just a fest of folly, a nasty fest. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be mindful of, because I know certain children be watching too. But these people having a nasty fest, man, where the man see his wife with another man, he see his daughter with another man, and he ain't got a word to say because he with somebody else's wife or somebody else's daughter. And again, it said children out here to see these acts, even like with these pride parades a couple years ago, man. We go downtown, you know what I mean, to prophesy against this sodomite spirit. And we seeing the rainbow dress people everywhere, you know, rainbow color hair, men with men, women with women. But one of the main things that tripped me out, that was so saddening, but at the same time make you mad, they got children out here. You training these children up for this. And this is why a lot of people don't understand when the Father destroyed those cities, it was children in those cities too, family. He killed children too. When we look at Genesis 19, where, you know, the angels came to Lot's house, the children was at the door too, beating on the door, trying to consummate the flesh with the angels. Said old and young. They passing these things down to the generation after them to be brought up to be even more wicked than the generation that was before them. But 4 times a year, the people of Sodom, Gomorrah, and the neighboring cities will go to this river and just have this nasty fest where men laying down with the next man's wife or child, and nothing is said. All right, verse 15 says, and they did so from morning to night, and they afterward returned home, each man to his house, and each woman to her tent. So they always did 4 times in a year. So and then after that, they go home like nothing happened. So this is something else that was going on aside from just the homosexual activity. These are the other things, the other types of sin that was going on in the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, and why the Father destroyed them. Verse 16, also when a stranger came into their cities and brought goods which he had purchased with the view to dispose of there, the people of these cities would assemble, men, women, and children, young and old, and go to the man and take his goods by force, giving a little to each man until there was an end to all the goods of the owner, which he had brought into the land. So he might have his mule laden with all type of supplies and foods, just in abundance. He'll travel, he's just trying to get to the next, he prepared because he had to pass through these cities in order to get to his next destination. But the land is beautiful too now. Don't forget that. They got the river running. It was a land that was nourished. You know, even as the book tells us, we want to be like trees planted by the rivers of waters. So in a city, you know, that is by water, a lot of time is nourished. That's why Egypt was next to the Nile. But anyhow, said they would come to this man, and little by little, men, women, and children would take this man's goods until he had nothing. Verse 17, by force. And if the owner of the goods quarreled with them, saying, what is this work which you have done to me? Then they would approach to him one by one, and each would show him the little which he took and taunt him, saying, I only took that little which thou didst give me. And when he heard this from them all, he would arise and go from them in sorrow and bitterness of soul. When they would all arise and go after him and drive him out of the city with great noise and tumult. All right. There's another account. The children being brought up to be extortioners in a sense, mocking the man, forcefully taking his goods. All right, so let's get something else though. Which I really wanted to show those videos. We'll get them though. You watch, that gives us time for us to, you know, feed our spirits alone, aside from the messages when we come together like so. But in the next chapter, Solomon with Sodom, Salakia, Jasher 19, Sodom destroyed. I'm starting with verse 1. It says, and the cities of Sodom had 4 judges to 4 cities, and these were their names: Sirach in the city of Sodom, Shakad in Gomorrah, Zabnak in Admah, and Minion in Zeboam. And Elijah, Abraham's servant, applied to them different names, and he converted Sirach to Shakra, Shakar to Shakrura, Zebnek to Kezabim, and Minion to Matzlodim. Verse 3, and by desire of their 4 judges, the people of Sodom and Gomorrah had beds erected in the streets of the cities. Understand, said by their judges, the judges of the city. Now we understand it, how the judge of the city is, that's going to affect how the citizens are. But listen to the story. Said they had beds erected in the streets of the cities. And if a man came to these places, they laid hold of him and brought him to one of their beds, and by force made him to lie in them. And as he lay down, 3 men would stand at his head and 3 at his feet, and measure him by the length of the bed. And if the man was less than the bed, these 6 men would stretch him at each end. And when he cried out to them, they would not answer him. So if that man laid in that bed and he was smaller than the bed itself, they would pull his body. You know, 3 of them pulling at his feet, 3 of them pulling at his his hands and his head, trying to tear him in half. Verse 5, and if he was longer than a bed, they would draw together the 2 sides of the bed at each end until the man had reached the gates of death. So they would be pushing him. Now they're trying to smash him. If, you know what I'm saying, this man is too long, his legs is, you know, hanging off the edge or whatever. Verse 6, it says, and if he continued to cry out to them, they would answer him, saying, thus shall it be done to a man that cometh into our land. Verse 7, and when men heard all these things that the people of the cities of Sodom did, they refrained from coming there. All right, so let me pause it right here. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon. So we see the reputation that the people had. It put me in the mindset of like Mad Max, that movie. Mad Max, how the people were savages. You know what I mean? Even the book of Eli. You're hearing about how things go down in these cities. You don't even want to go. You don't want to pass by there. You're like, man, them folks, they wicked over there. They gonna kill you. They do some strange types of murders. So if you travel that way, man, go around. All right, but Wisdom of Solomon from the Apocrypha, chapter 18 is what I want. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 19, Salaki. Oh, excuse me. So just to show, to have a witness for what was just talked about in Jasher. Like they didn't treat strangers of the land, people who wasn't from those cities, with hospitality and love and appreciation. They didn't receive him. Wisdom of Solomon 19, verse 14 says, "For the Sodomites did not receive those whom they knew not when they came, but these brought friends into bondage that had well deserved of them." So showing through Wisdom of Solomon, yeah, like these wasn't welcoming people. If you came through there, you were a target. You were somebody for them to, you know what I mean, basically get off or appease and give pleasure to the murderous spirit that was on them. Let me get Isaiah 3 and 9 too. So this is something else. This whole subject really, you know what I mean, is a part of the reason why the churches are considered whores according to the Bible. Because they won't talk about these things. They say, "Come as you are," and people come as they are and leave the same way. But the Father quickened me not too long ago, saints, within the account with Hamashiach. You know, when he told the servant to go out, he said, "Look, go out and bid them to come to the marriage." And the people went out to bid them, but everybody made excuses. And then he called the good and the bad in. They came, and it was one within her who said, you know, the master of the wedding of the feast, he come in and say, like, hey, brother, how you get in here without your garment? You know what I'm saying? And from that point, he told his servants, "Hey, take this man out here and beat him." You know what I mean? He's gonna be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So that showed me, like, you can't just come how you are. You got to dress for the occasion. You got to change something about yourself. That's what the scripture was letting us know. You got to change something. You can't just come how you are, as they tell us in the world. All right, but Isaiah 3, but because of that, and the mindset with people saying you can't judge me, don't judge nobody, because they dealing in a homosexual lifestyle or what have you, don't say nothing to them. Okay, cool. I don't have to bash them, you know what I mean, but I don't have to pacify them either. And that's how the world has programmed people to pacify these people. You know, conquer these people, make them feel good in their sin. That ain't what we supposed to do. And even in the account where they said, "Don't judge nobody," as I done said before, if me telling these people that they live in an ungodly lifestyle, just telling them, you know what I mean, if that's considered judging and I shouldn't say anything, don't say nothing to me about saying something to them, because then you judging me. Everybody should just be quiet in their case, or don't just let me be. When I say something, if I gotta leave them alone to let them live a homosexual lifestyle without, you know, me having any type of, you know, anything comments about it, don't have a comment about me coming about them. All right. But Isaiah 3 and 9, it says, "The show of their countenance doeth witness against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom. They hide it not. Woe unto their soul, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves." So in this case, we see the Father let us know, man, it didn't come to a time where these people would be ashamed of these lifestyles. It would be a shame to do these types of things. But now they declare their sin is Sodom. They do it boastfully out in the open without shame, without concern for what you think and how you feel about them, without concern of what your child think. You got transgenders in the libraries reading to children in elementary school. Well, this was before, you know, they shut the schools down. But reading to them, wearing these little old dresses, and you can see all the man private area, because it's a full-grown hairy beast with a skirt on, man, reading to the children. And that's okay. It was okayed by the government officials, by the city council, but they were saying that you can't be praying in school. You can't pray before you know what I mean, with your football team before y'all go for the championship. You can't do that. You getting suspended or you getting fired. This is the world we living in. Even as what we started it. It said perilous times shall come. Perilous times. This is a part of why it's perilous times. All right. But let's go to Second Peter. Second Peter, that's what I want. Which we got more than that Joshua 19. Oh, indeed, it is the Baphomet. Transgender. You know, the image itself, it has a woman's, it has women's breasts, got feet of an animal, legs down, you know what I mean? Arms of a man, head of a goat. You know what I mean? With all this talk, look at the wickedness, man. The programming. People around here saying that they the goat. And ain't it something that the Baphomet has a goat head? I'm going to First Peter, saints. So like, you see what y'all saying over here. Transsexuals got the right to use whatever bathroom they want in schools now. Law just passed. Indeed, they've been working on it for a minute. They've been working on it for some time. You know, and they got doctors out here. This is how wicked it is. They got doctors out here who's able to, you know, take them through that surgery to cause them to look like a man or a woman with the hormone pills. That's why Revelation said it's the cage of every foul bird, the cage of devils and every foul spirit. I'm paraphrasing. So like it. Yeah, but Second Peter, saints. Second Peter. I'm almost there. Second Peter chapter 2. It's after Hebrews. It's after James. No wonder. You put it up on my phone because my page missing, saints. Second Peter 2. Second Peter chapter 2, verse 6. That's what I want. Okay. Got the advertisement. Second Peter chapter 2, verse 6. It says, "In turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an ensample unto those that after should live ungodly, and deliver just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked." Even like we were bringing out this past Shabbat on the corner, saints, talking about people should be vexed at how the world is being ran right now. If we walk in the spirit, we should be vexed with it. So if we not vexed with these things, that lets us know we okay with the dark kingdom. And we shouldn't be. All right, but within that Second Peter said it, he turned the city to ashes. So don't forget to click on that link and check their video out to where you will see when they take the rocks, it just crumble in their hands like ashes. Really. And they done took it through several different types of they brought it down to Knoxville to test the sulfur, the gradient of it, the grade of it, you know what I mean, the value of it. And the people said it was like 94% sulfur. That's higher than any sulfur that you can find anywhere else on the planet, as they have discovered so far. So it was they said it was like otherworldly sulfur. You know what I mean? On another level, it had to be from the heavens. And so the guy, Ron Wyatt, he asked them, you know, could you burn a little bit of it in within y'all's machine so we can see the heat value, like how hot can it get? And they told the man, they said, listen, if we do that, it's gonna destroy our machine. Letting you know, like the Father didn't allow this thing to take place for real. So that was the whole reason that I wanted to show that, and I still will. But it's these things why people don't believe. They haven't, it's certain stuff they haven't seen. Some of us are carnal to where we have to see certain things in order to believe it. All right, we're talking about Jabal al-Laws, the mountain across the sea, in the Sinai Peninsula. the real Mount Sinai. Well, you can see at a distance, it looks like a shadow is on the tip of the mountain, but it's not. That's the same burnt rocks and dust and everything else. The Father burnt the peak of it when he descended down at the time period where we had the meeting with the Father. And in the ancestors said they heard this loud voice. They were like, hey, listen, Moses, we gonna do what he say. Just tell him stop, because unless we die, we don't want to hear his voice again. Unless he gonna kill us, man. Please tell him to stop talking. We're gonna do whatever he say, but just tell him to stop talking. They was fearful. He descended in that cloud with smoke and fire, burnt the top of Mount Sinai. All right, so this account, what I'm talking about with Ron Wyatt from that link, it'll show you the same thing to increase, help you believe, increase your faith. Even the disciples, they had to ask the Messiah, increase our faith, help our unbelief. Some of us need that. All right, but Joshua 19. I'm back in Joshua 19, Saints. Let's see. Which, when you read that, I'm not going to get all of the accounts of everything that happened, because there's a lot of different stuff that they did. But just the main points I want to hit. So Joshua 19, I'm going to jump down to 51. It says, then the Most High rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah and upon all these cities brimstone and fire from the Most High out of heaven. Again, brimstone, when you look up the definition of it, is sulfur. The definition for brimstone is sulfur. It says, and he overthrew these cities, all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities, and that which grew upon the ground. And Adu, the wife of Lot, looked back to see the destruction of the cities, for her compassion was moved on account of her daughters, who remained in Sodom, for they did not go with her. And when she looked back, she became a pillar of salt, and it is yet in that place unto this day. And the oxen which stood in their place daily licked up the salt to the extremities of their feet. And in the morning it would spring forth afresh, and they again licked it up unto this day. So the salt continuously is coming out. You know what I mean? Instead of being produced. Verse 55, and Lot and two of his daughters that remained with him fled and escaped to the cave of Adullam. And they remained there for some time. And Abraham rose up early in the morning to see what had been done to the cities of Sodom. And he looked and beheld the smoke of the cities going up like the smoke of a furnace. And Lot and his two daughters remained in the cave, and they made their father drink wine, and they lay with him. For they said there was no man upon earth that could raise up seed from them, for they thought that the whole earth was destroyed. Now look at that. Now we're going here for this case. In the time where the Father allowing that fire and brimstone to rain, they viewed it as, man, they thought that the world was being destroyed. They thought it was over. End game. That's it. And so they end up laying down with their father. Another grotesque act that was never done on the face of the planet of Earth. All right, but this is a part of these different reasons of why the Father destroyed these cities. And now that same spirit have come over to where we are now. And even throughout the whole earth. Revelation 11 and 8. Let's go there. Revelation 11 and 8. That's where we going. All right, and the people are proud and boastful. They have no shame. They don't want to repent for these things. They don't want to change. And even as I said before, I understand. It's some people who in the truth dealing with these spirits, dealing with a sodomite spirit. You know what I mean? Dealing with a proud spirit. But in the case of we talking the sodomite, the homosexual spirit, those who have that particular battle, because everyone who's living their lifestyle, it's not that they want to be in it. It's some people who live in their lifestyle. It's a struggle and a battle for them. They came into their lifestyle because of the uncle crept into the room. The uncle crept into the room and did something to their little boy or their little girl. Watching a movie not too long ago, the woman took, she went to the washer, to the washer, the laundromat. And she stepped out for a second from her son. And you had this Edomite, this Caucasian to come in can entertain the little boy for me and end up kidnapping him. And as the story goes on through the movie, you see he didn't took the little boy to a separate house. Now this Edomite, he got a wife and children, teenagers, on the other side of town. But he also got another house, and he takes his children there. He takes the Israelite boy to that house, and is fondling them. You know what I mean? Keeping them stored away from his family. So like your saints. Indeed, that's what it is, homie bro. One gully. Salaki, y'all. Let me get this door. Humble bro one. That is the video. I mean, that is the movie Gully. Touching movie. You know what I mean? And it's it's a heavy movie. It's you know what I'm saying, rated R, not for children. But it does go into the threads of society of a lot of things that has happened. You know what I mean? How things go on in different households. So when I talk about sodomite and condemning that spirit and that lifestyle, that right there is because it's for those people who they glory in it. They want to live like that. They want the world to be like that. But not for those who struggling with it. And if you're dealing with that, I pray, you know what I mean? Because that's a strong spirit. I pray the Most High deliver you from it. I pray he does. I pray he have mercy on you to get you out of that state, out of that mindset. Revelation 11 and 8, though, it says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our master was crucified. Now, talking about Babylon, United Snakes of America, you know what I mean? In that case, why is it spiritually called Sodom? Because look, 1999, Bill Clinton declared June to be LGBT or Gay Pride Month. Gave him a whole month, a whole 30 days. Said this is gonna be for y'all. That y'all can be woven into the threads of society and looked upon with respect and regarded. We talking after looking at the history of the Stonewall riots. That's where it began. Well, really before that, but as far as in this nation, the Stonewall riots and the people of that persuade the mindset, the homosexual lifestyle, LGBTQIA plus. These people compare the challenges that they've had in order to gain rights to that of the civil rights movement. They say they've been belittled and ridiculed. You know what I mean? They've been considered as outcasts because at one point in time in the nation, in this country, homosexuality was illegal. But then they took that off. So we're looking at the politics handling these things, you know what I mean, and bending to the will of Satan and not that of the Most High. So we're now 1999, Bill Clinton, where so many Israelites was on board for him. He's good. He's good. That's how they got us really focusing into the political arena. Want to have our hand in it. He declared to be Pride Month. Fast forward, now you got Obama. They used the brown face, the melanated man. They said we're gonna use him so that we will legalize homosexual marriage. And understanding that that's the exact opposite of the commandment that the Father gave. Be fruitful and multiply. Be fruitful, and you can't do that with two men and two women. So that spirit comes through, and that was the perfect gateway of why we see so much increase in the wickedness in the earth now. Because that's being lifted up, that's being taken on to a higher level. Looking at the statistics. And they pushing this stuff out to the children. They pushing it out to the minors, the adolescents. They putting the stuff in food to cause them to feel these ways. They put it in the school system and say, listen, you have the authority, child, minor, you have the authority to decide whether or not you feel or identify yourself as being a male when you're a girl, or as a girl when you're a male. The child don't even know how to, all of the motor functions of the mind haven't even developed properly. The psyche of the child is not even fully developed, but you giving them that type of authority. Wicked, man. Very wicked. All right, but Sodom and Gomorrah, you know what I mean? That's the spirit of this country and even across the world now. They doing it, they pushing it out and projecting it to be a spit and a slap in the face of the Most High. He didn't make us for that. And again, your Sunday pastors, a lot of them, they not gonna talk like this because they've adopted the same mindset too, to say we need to include everybody. We need to appease people's feelings. We need to make you feel good in your sin. Not so, man. The Most High forbid. You're gonna have the more worse judgment. And then you got people who, I see how people. All right, Shalom. You got the people where we have these types of people around us. It's a full-grown man, and you around talking about you girl. You calling him girl because he feel like he is one. You got that mean you got a hand in his sin. You encouraging that. You got the butchers out here, the studs. And dudes to my mind, this is my homie, man. What's up, bro? You saying that to a female. You taking part in a sin. You encouraging that. That ain't supposed to be done. It's two genders. Seen a video where you had a transgender. This is why you got to be careful, man. This is why the Father so cold. He said the lust of the eyes. You know what I'm saying? You can't be out here just lusting for any and everything you see. That's a full-grown man you looking at. Shaped with weave and all this makeup. That's why that stuff is deceitful. Face caked up with makeup, lashes, and you know what I'm saying? All the invisible part, weave, and curls, and what the lace front, all that. Full grown man though. But in the video, what I was mentioning, you had the transgender with the microphone going through the city. It was some type of homosexual event, LGBTQ, whatever. Asking people, how many genders are there? Asked this one guy, how many genders are there? The man said, no, I'm not gonna. He got mad. Why? Because when you acknowledge that, it goes back to the Most High. He made male and female. He made man. He didn't make all these other supposed to be genders. There's only two, man. Ain't no question about it. Ain't no way around it. Ain't no alternative. It's only two genders. But the world promoting this stuff. So if we agree with it and allow it to be a part of our speech vocabulary, what we talk about and accept, understand this, you against the Most High. You are against the Most High. Let's see. Indeed, yeah. It's only two genders. It's only two. But the world of trying is more than two. 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. 20. Matter of fact, the last time I checked, it was a little bit more than a score. Almost 30. All right, but within this, saints, just wanted to talk about and share how the proud spirit, you know what I mean, that is also attached within the homosexual spirit. You know, in the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, they were proud people. All right, and I did want to get this done because it is the last day, according to the Gregorian calendar, of June. So I wanted to get it done before this month passed out to talk about this. All right. Questions, comments, and concerns before we close out. Questions, comments, and concerns. Go over here and read some of these comments y'all got. Brace it right, Shalom. All those who tuning in, hit the like button or dislike button. It's just to drive the algorithm so other people will hear the word. It might minister to them more than it does to you. If it doesn't minister to you, other people can be edified. Let's see. Uh, let's see. Let's see. Just got to give a shout out to Darak Bar and Peasy, are my favorite Hebrew musicians. Check out the Hebrew Truth Music Network, y'all, for upcoming radio shows. Indeed, bless those who are laboring on all levels. It says, I wonder did they do the spilling of seed in the water that the Jewish people do? Wow. I don't know what you're talking about right there. Indeed, yeah. And that's what it goes back to that account from Jasher swinging. Now I saw this through research. You're gonna see some stuff. You know what I mean? And being real, you go into a lot of things that other people are afraid to view and see or talk about. But nonetheless, within research in China, this is a part of why they put a ban on how many children that the Chinese could produce. These folks was in looked like a warehouse, saints. And as far as you can see, in every direction, you had a man and a woman. Now we know through the book, we know that ain't Torah. That's supposed to be done in privacy. That's why Phineas drove the spirit through the man and the Moabite woman when they were having that was doing that type of activity in front of the nation. So how is it the people are comfortable and okay enough to everywhere around you, these folks engaging in that type of activity? But this is what they're doing within the world, saints. That's why in the book it tells us, woe to Babylon, woe unto Asia. All right, because they fashioning themselves after this country, the daughter of Babylon. Let's see. Can we always have scoffers? You know, those who don't believe in the Messiah. Hey, so be it. Let's see. Humble Bro once said, words and symbols got power. Indeed. Mm. Yeshay said, where can I watch it? I post, if you're talking about the video with Ron Wyatt, you know, and him going through the land and, you know, figuring that the place where he was in the Jordan Plain was the remains of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities. I posted the link within the comments here. And if not, if you don't see it, you just type in Ron Wyatt or Sodom and Gomorrah or documentary on YouTube. Oh yeah, Joanna, man. Of course, the media, they use that. Mainly pushing it on and directing it to us because the Romans, the Greeks, that was a part of their customs. They had little minnows, or they had a wife and they had a little boy toy. The wife and the woman was only there for reproduction to pass the power down to his heir. All right, patriarchal society. Let's see. Let's see. Mm. Let's see. Gonna be wood for the fire. Indeed, pray they repent, man. A butch told me that I had to be around her because I'm in the truth. and I supposed to be around them. I said, ma'am, if you don't plan on changing your ways, I don't want you around me or my children. Indeed. And this something else too. Over time, you have people to tell you like, oh man, if you homophobic, you must be homo. Stop it, man. That don't mean that. If I'm vexed by this person and the spirit that's on them, that don't mean that I like that. Had a woman say that before. And the same woman, she had a complex where she couldn't be around men alone. And I could have easily said, okay, well, since you saying that, I choose not to be around these people, I can, because I understand the spirit, but I'm not gonna be around them alone if I don't have to. So I'm like, if that's the case, well, you must don't want to be around men alone because you know that you have some type of horror spirit. Could have said that to her. But this is what society then put in people's spirits and mind to come up with different excuses of why to accept this stuff. It's not to be accepted. Let's see. I just started a USPS job, was in orientation with a lesbian trying to justify smoking weed and her sexuality. I just shut up. It's a time to speak and a time to be quiet. Indeed. Indeed. Now, that's something right there. That's very powerful. It's a time for everything. Seasons. It's seasons for this stuff. I don't know if I haven't made mention before, but in the case of us saying we walking in truth, we want to walk in the light. We understand that as we walk in the light, it's still demons that pull and tug at us to try to cause us to go back to the darkness. But in that walk, within this walk, days, months, years, whatever, what have you, the earth itself, the Father has given 4 seasons to where the it's not winter all the time. If it was winter all the time, we know it's a problem. If it's summer all the time, it's a problem. Saying that to say we're not supposed to be the same way all the time. It's a time for you might be in a season where it's just time to teach, go hard. But then a season should roll around where you silent, just listen, just learn, start, refill your cup. Some people be in a season where they want to be nice and polite. It's supposed to be about praying and just forgive and love and be cordial all the time. Listen, you must not read in the book. It's demons in the walk too. A lot of the people who have a problem with me, I don't have a problem with these people. They got fringes on. They got fringes on, family. So saying that to say, it's a time to embrace and refrain from embracing. It's a time and a place for everything. It's a season for everything. Some of the people in that lifestyle, the sodomite lifestyle, they got humility enough to say some of them be seeing how these dudes be cross-dressing. Women be cross-dressing, be like, man, that's way off. Out of that, we don't supposed to do like that. Within their own, realm of things. Then you got them to where the ones who I really would have a heart for, who I do have a heart for, is those who they in that lifestyle, but they don't want them. It's a fight. It's a struggle. You know what I mean? They trying to escape, but they need help. It's a spirit, man. It's a very strong spirit. All right. All praise to the Most High, though, family. No questions, comments, or concerns. If you think of something, shoot it to children of the prophets 144 at gmail.com. I pray that the word was edifying, strengthening, all together, that the Father put on our accounts, for righteousness, to see that we occupied our time with righteousness this night. Berechiah ben Yehuda Israel says, Shalom, brother. The holy days and new moons teach us about the times and seasons. All right. So before we could even go into that, I don't know how long you've been in the fold. I don't know what you believe. What's your foundation of study? I don't know. But the season that I'm in, even if what I just talked about, is the truth. You know what I mean? I understand everybody not going to be on the same page. He said, we prophesy in part, we know in part. We got people that celebrate the Sabbath sun up to sun up. You got people that celebrate the Sabbath according to 7 days after they see the full moon. Some people say the full moon is the new moon. Some people say the new moon is when you don't see the moon. So it's different discrepancies within the nation. So far as teaching on the holy days and the times and the seasons, I can share where I'm at, what the Father then showed me. Leviticus 23. But at the end of all that, it's gonna be somebody that disagree with the calendar that I follow. You know what I mean? Even as I would disagree with somebody else, but I don't always cause it to be a point of contention, debate, and arguing. Where some people, that's what they want to do. It's not even about the holy day and serving the Most High. They want to prove a point. They don't want to save the soul or get them under the banner of the Most High. So in that case for teaching it, I could, if the Father led on my spirit, but that's if he led on my spirit. He haven't done it, so he haven't done it yet. See what y'all saying here. Did I say anything about the hermaphrodites? No, I didn't. I didn't say anything about the hermaphrodites. But to my knowledge, those who were born in that way, I would think that one of the, I don't know if both of those organs function properly or fully. You know what I'm saying? But the one that does function properly, that would determine your agenda. The rest of your body makeup would determine your agenda. Let's see. Journey to truth. Is it possible that Isaiah 40:22 is consistent with a non-global, immovable earth? Let me look at what you're saying. Non-global, immovable earth. Isaiah 40:22. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers. They stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. All right. So in this case, what is that? What is that gonna do in the realm of salvation, though? You know what I'm saying? That understanding. For me, this is where I'm at. It's certain stuff that's talked about among people that don't matter. Well, it matters that because it's a lie, or if it's the truth or not. But in the case of the kingdom, is this within the commandments given that the Father said, believe it to be this or that? If it ain't in the Torah and it don't relate to the belief in the faith in the Messiah and the Holy Spirit, for me, it's not a weightier matter. The scripture tells us, Sirach, it said, be not curious in the matters. You know what I mean? A lot of stuff, we end up being concerned with things that it's not even really something we should be giving a lot of our time and focus to. Even as a brother asked me before, he said, is it true that the knowledge, the level of knowledge you have, if you don't know a lot, if you don't know a lot about the scriptures, that'll keep you out the kingdom? And it's like, no, because it tell you the one that know of little and obey the Most High is better than one with wisdom and transgression. So little matters. It's the obedience that it ends up coming down to, or boiling down to. Adara said, do you think the mark of the beast is just spirit or physical too, and just haven't been revealed to us just yet? All right, my stand on the mark of the beast, according to scripture, says that without it, you won't be able to buy or sell. So I know that it's going to be attached to finances. I believe it to be physical and spiritual, because in your spirit, you got to make up in your mind if you're going to line yourself up with the beast system in the dark kingdom. If you're going to line in your mind and your spirit, you got to say, I don't trust the Most High to be able to supply for me or get me through these times. So it's gonna start in the spirit and then physical, because we understand this here. Satan imitates the Most High. I was meditating on that earlier. You got people that are. This is why it says faith without works is dead. You can say with your mouth all day that you love the Most High, that you serve the Most High, that you with the Most High. But if you really do, it's gonna show through your actions and your lifestyle and the things you do on a grand scale of things. So in the account where the Messiah showed us, he said, the man with the withered hand. He said, "You what you want from me? What you want me to do?" He wanted to be healed. He wanted that withered hand to be healed. He said, "I believe you can do it." He said, "Okay, well, stretch forth your hand." So the belief has to turn into an action. So I believe you can do it. And then I stretch forth my hand and I see the miracle. If the man never stretched forth his hand, he would have never saw the miracle. So what I'm saying is this: if people are saying that you can say you serve Satan, the people in the celebrities, you can say you worship the devil all day, but until you put that sacrifice and you got to drink some blood, you got to sacrifice somebody you really love, you got to sell your soul, to show that you down with him, put this dress on. You a full grown man, kiss this other man in his mouth. You a full grown woman, kiss this woman in her mouth. You got to show that you with it. So the beast system, the mark of the beast, yeah, it's gonna be spiritual and physical. It has to be, because you can say you down with the system, but I need proof that you with the beast system. That's my take on it. And far as it being revealed yet, I mean, I haven't seen anything in the earth where they telling us you can't buy or sell without this. You know what I mean? Like forcefully. Like this is the only means of you being able to buy something or sell something. But I do see that with the vaccination, with you know what I mean, everything is going on, different passports, a lot with technology going on. Even with Amazon playing a big part in it. It's gonna boil down to where like it's gonna be something where you can't go into the stores and take care of your family and everybody else without it. Humble Bro One, I pray that answers y'all question. Says, what you think about our brothers? They got white men out here kissing their feet. I know what scriptures say, ain't that's pride. Okay, again, this wrong me with it, Saint. The book tell us, talk not with a coward in matters of war. It say, talk not with a person. Let me get it. I don't want to keep calling them off top of my head. But my point about it is this: the Father worked all things. So if that's how, you know what I mean, these brothers feel like they want to do it, hey, that helps somebody. I'm not going to, as it tells us in Romans, I'm not going to have you know what I mean, any type of thing to say about that. Not that I would do it, not that I care for it. I just want the kingdom. Ain't nobody got to bow to me, period. But like what he said he going to cause them to come. So when they do that, you know what I mean, hey, that's them, Saint. It's a lot of people who end up getting themselves into a situation and concerned with things that's going on that's not conducive to salvation altogether, and it wear you out. That's what I'm saying. Like I steer away from stuff like that. Let's see. Pull this verse up about matters of war. Let's see. It's Rock 37. Okay. Here we go. Sirach 37. I'm gonna start with 10. Consult not with one that suspecteth thee, and hide thy counsel from such as envy thee. All right, so watch who you talking to, who you dealing with. You got to know the mindset of the next person and deal with them accordingly. Verse 11. Neither consult with the woman touching her of whom she is jealous, neither with a coward in matters of war, nor with a merchant concerning exchange. Why? The merchant ain't trying to exchange. He trying to gain. He trying to get something. He don't want to, he want the money. Can't talk to him about that. Talk to him about money. Can't talk to a coward about war because they don't want a war. They don't understand war. They fear war. They don't want to be a part of a war. You got to talk to a coward about peaceful things and stuff like that. But if you're dealing with a man of war, you can talk to him about that. You can talk to a warrior about war, not a coward. It says, nor with a buyer of selling. You know what I'm saying? He love buying, he loves supporting. He ain't trying to sell nothing. That ain't his mindset. It ain't in his spirit. Don't talk to him about something that's contrary to what he is or what she is. It says, nor with an envious man of thankfulness. They don't understand gratuity. Nor with an unmerciful man touching kindness. Nor with the slothful for any work. Nor with an hireling for a year finishing work. Nor with an idle servant of much business. Hearken not unto these in any matter of counsel. So don't talk to these people about this. So the father's letting us know you got to deal with the people who understand it. So I'm saying, even how I don't agree with, when brothers be on the corner street preaching and cursing people out. All right, but I do understand it. Something in that man got him feeling like that. Maybe some stuff that I haven't seen. He's angry for some reason. No, that he's doing it. I don't know, but the father know. The father know why he doing it, and the father gonna deal with him about it. He gonna have to deal with the father about it. So that's my take on it. Let's see what else. Common day-to-day spiritual warfare is a lot, especially in the mind and control of thoughts and rebuking spirits. Gotta stay focused. Indeed, gotta stay focused, saints. All right. I don't see any more comments. Pray that they answered you all's questions, your comments. In the meanwhile, again, anything come across your mind throughout the week, shoot it to children of the prophets 144 at gmail.com. All right, bless you all. I pray the rest of y'all's night be blessed. Filled with favor. Pray that when y'all lay down, y'all have peaceful sleep. Any of us dealing with, going to sleep and you having nightmares and visions. The Father been dealing with you with visions and you waking up tired, you waking up scared, you waking up nervous. I pray the Father give you strength and that, you get boldness to receive whatever he's showing you, because that'll be for the nation. That'll be for somebody who need to hear that. Accept what he's doing and how he dealing with you. You know what I mean? And I pray he give you the interpretation of those visions that you have in at night or throughout the day. All right. One last comment says spiritual powers. We do have spiritual powers. This is true. They just say it's just adrenaline. It be people lifting cars to save a loved one when we don't think about. We just need faith. Indeed, indeed, all praise to the Most High. Y'all have a blessed night. Shalom. Peace and blessings to the saints.